Let's say China.
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 There are next door neighbors, and you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
You go over to China.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Trump statement, tweeting out insults to Angela Merkel. What's he doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host.
Yes. It is me, James Andrews, and you are listening to So This Happened, probably the only news you will need today. It is Tuesday, absolutely, hands down, the worst day of the week. It is the 9th of May, 2017, and today, France's great week keeps on getting better. On Sunday, the people of France turned their back on bigotry and hatred by electing Emmanuel Macron as their president. Well, today, France have issued a new law banning the use of overly skinny models. And this is massive for France, the fashion capital of the world where so many young women go to try and live out their dreams of becoming a model. Well, what this law does is it says that now models are required to have a medical certificate. It'll be valid for 2 years, and it confirms that they are in generally good shape and the fact that they are not excessively underweight. This is designed to combat anorexia, and I think it is a massive step in the right direction. The law applies to all models working within the European Union, which now France, thank you Macron, will remain a part of. And they are allowed to touch things up with Photoshop, but if they do that, they have to print right there on the photograph that it has been doctored. If they don't, they can face really large fines. So, well done France, again. And of course, the big news yesterday was the Sally Yates testimony up on Capitol Hill, and we learnt a few things yesterday. Nothing earth-shaking, which I know a lot of people were sort of hoping for, but there was nothing earth-shaking yesterday. But we did learn a few things. The first thing that we now know for certain is that Flynn lied about Russia, and it opened him up to potential blackmail from Russia. We found out that after Sally Yates found out the information about General Flynn from routine surveillance by the FBI, she went straight to the White House and told them about the issue. The next thing we did or didn't learn, depending on how you look at it, is what or whether the White House did anything with the information. It's very unclear. So after Yates gave the White House the information, it took them a number of weeks to actually fire Michael Flynn. Now, Sean Spicer in his press briefing today justified this by saying, yeah, we got the information, we looked at the information, we did our due diligence, we made sure the information was correct, and at that time, we let Michael Flynn go. There is a few little caveats there which make me slightly uncomfortable, that Sally Yates was fired 2 days after she gave the information to the White House. Now, the reason for this was that she opposed Donald Trump's travel ban. 2 days after she gave the information about General Flynn. Coincidence, perhaps. And the other thing we learnt, which may or may not be news, is that Republicans are pretty much single-handedly focused on how we know about Flint and who he talked to, rather than whether he actually was doing something illegal. They spent all of yesterday drilling Sally Yates and James Comey on, well, how do we know this? Who leaked information? Where did it come from? What's the leak? The leak. Nobody except Senator Lindsey Graham, of all people, said, well, wait a second, did Flynn do something illegal? That's what we need to focus on, not the other thing of, well, how do we know it? And along with that, we also found out that the Republicans are really pissed off that Sally Yates stood up against Donald Trump's his travel ban. She sort of became a hero for a while, didn't she? Where everyone was saying, yes, Sally Yates standing up to Donald Trump. And Republicans yesterday noted that they were very disappointed that she made that decision to go public with the fact that she disagreed with Donald Trump's travel ban. And the last thing we learnt yesterday, which I'm not sure I would consider news, is that the Democrats are pretty certain that there's more to the whole Trump-Russia story than just Michael Flynn. We didn't find out any new information yesterday. A lot of people, like I said, were very disappointed. They were hoping for sort of that smoking gun testimony yesterday, which we didn't receive. This will probably keep going on and on. The White House, Donald Trump tweeting today, in fact, that he wants this charade to end that is costing taxpayers money. I would suggest that your charade of playing golf every weekend, Donald Trump, is also costing the taxpayers unnecessary money, whereas an investigation as to whether you or people in your administration could potentially have connections to Russia, that's a fairly good use of taxpayer money. And you are welcome. I listened to it, so you don't have to. I just present you with the 2-minute synopsis, and that really is, we learnt nothing new. There was one exchange between the good friend of this show, Ted Cruz, and Sally Yates, which I do want to play because I think this can only be described as an absolute smackdown of Ted Cruz.
By the express text of the statute, it says, quote, whenever the president finds that the entry of any alien or of any class of aliens into the United States would be detrimental to the interests of the United States, he may, by proclamation and for such period as he shall deem necessary, suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens as immigrants or non-immigrants, or impose on the entry of aliens any restrictions he may deem appropriate. Would you agree that that is broad statutory authorization?
I would, and I am familiar with that, and I'm also familiar with an additional provision of the INA that says no person shall receive preference or be discriminated against in issuance of a visa because of race, nationality, or place of birth. That, I believe, was promulgated after the statute that you just quoted. And that's been part of the discussion with the courts with respect to the INA, is whether this more specific statute trumps the first one that you just described. But my concern was not an INA concern here. It rather was a constitutional concern, whether or not this, the executive order here violated the Constitution, specifically with the Establishment Clause and equal protection and due process.
Yes, in your face, Ted Cruz, in your fucking face, you twat. Well done, Sally, thanks for that, gave me quite a giggle. And now, with your permission, I would like to turn our attention to the United States of America. From the waves crashing on the majestic cliffs of the Pacific to the rocky beaches of the Atlantic. From the tip of Florida to the very top of New England. A beautiful country. Let's have a look at who lives here, shall we? Men. We make up 49.1% of the population, which anybody who has taken a year of mathematics will let you know means that women equal 50.9% of the population. Now, the median age in the United States right now is 35.3. Race. Let's look at that. People who identify themselves as white Americans, 77.1%. Black or African Americans, 12.9. American Indian, 1.5. Asian, 4.2. Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islanders, 0.3. And then some other race, which would include Hispanics and whoever else is here, 6.6%. It's one hell of a melting pot, isn't it? You've got all these beautiful, it's a rainbow, it's a beautiful rainbow of colour and gender, and it's a lovely little melting pot. But then we look at who's writing this healthcare bill that's going to benefit all of us. Oh yes, a panel of 13 fine politicians selected by Paul Ryan. And guess what? They're all men. And they're all old. Yep. Old men. People that make up a tiny percentage in the demographics of America are deciding for everybody what is best for us. Well done. That's a fucking win in my mind. And next, I would like to turn our attention to a man named Pruitt. Oh, you hear that? That is the super old-fashioned phone that we have here at the So This Happened studio. I wonder who it could be. Let's find out. Hello? Oh, Trump Vader. How are you? Are you? I see. Okay. So, we don't have the technology to allow you to read a tweet over the telephone. No, we're not there yet, mate. I know. It's shit. You're right, it is shit, but we can't do that. No. Well, I'm sorry. No, you have to be here. If you're not here, you can't read it. That's the rules. If you're not here, you can't read a tweet. No, I won't. No, I am not gonna read it for you. No, if you want to read it, you have to be here. Okay. So tomorrow then, you will. You promise. Okay. Alright. Well, goodbye. Yeah. Alright. Take care. Yeah. Alright. Bye-bye, mate. Okay, well, that was Trump Vader, and he's not here. He's just not here. He couldn't make it. So unfortunately, no tweet from Trump Vader today. And that's okay, because I actually do want to talk about this man named Pruitt. Specifically, Scott Pruitt, former Oklahoma Attorney General, and now the man in charge of the Environmental Protection Agency. The only problem with Trump's pick for head of the EPA is that Scott Pruitt doesn't believe in the EPA. In fact, he shut down the EPA in Oklahoma when he was Attorney General there. As Attorney General, he was relentless in opposing any EPA standards for climate pollution. He was also a relentless opponent of just basic pollution limits as well. Anything that protects us from mercury, smog, arsenic, any other air toxin that's out there. And this is where the story goes from just ridiculous to absolutely fucking mind-blowing. For 6 years as Attorney General, Pruitt was kept very busy, essentially doing the bidding of his financial supporters who were primarily in the oil and the gas industry. In 2010, he folded his office's Environmental Protection Unit, and that investigated things like water contamination, illegal dumping, and he launched a new Federalism Unit. And that was devoted to filing legal challenges against the EPA, at least 14 of them, 13 of which, it should be noted, were industry players who also were financial contributors to Pruitt's political causes. It's just incredible. And if you think I'm making this up, let's hear from the man himself. He was asked, do you believe that carbon-based pollutants are causing climate change? And this is Scott Pruitt's answer.
No, I think that measuring with precision human activity on the climate is something very challenging to do, and there's tremendous disagreement about the degree of impact. So no, I would not agree that it's a primary contributor to the global warming that we see.
Okay. All right.
But we don't know that yet. As far as we need to continue the debate and to continue the review and the analysis.
No, Scott, we don't. We know it. Almost every single scientist in the world agrees that climate change is real and that carbon pollutants are responsible for it. My God, these are the people who are running the government. An EPA head who doesn't believe in the EPA. Well, I have seen it all. And we're out of time. So, goodbye. Thank you for listening. You can always follow me on Twitter at SoThisHappen. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, wherever you're listening. Spread the word, tell a friend, tell an enemy, whichever you want to do, I'm cool with. Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good night.
Let's say China.
China.
China. China.